Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today I wanted to flip through January in my Hobonichi cousin. I am so proud of myself. I journaled every single day for the month of January, which is just mind-blowing for me. So I wanted to share that in a little flip through. I also wanted to share the things that I'm currently loving using in my Hobonichi. These two pens are my primary pens. I've got my Tombow Furonosuke soft tip brush pen and then a Sarasa Mark-On in the size 04. I like this pen the most because you can actually like highlight and color over it and not have it smear. Though, to be quite honest with you, I think that the paper absorbency in the Hobonichi is like more than it would be in like another notebook. So I can even use my Energel in 0.3 and highlight over it like with a marker, and it doesn't smear as badly as it would anywhere else. If I don't have immediate, like within arm's reach access to this pen, I have been using my Energel needle tip 0.3 pen. This is like my all-time favorite pen, but it is a smeary pen if you go over it with marker. So I do primarily use this one now, but this one's still my favorite. And then I've really been enjoying oh my gosh, this is already starting to fade off. The Ohuhu Pupae pens in my Hobonichi. The paper in this, I don't know if it's because of like the new Tombow River paper or not Tombow, Tomoe River paper. I don't know if it's because of the new paper, but like my Tombows seem to bleed through a lot easier. So these ones, since I think they're supposed to be more paper friendly, don't bleed through as fast. So I've been enjoying using these ones more than my Tombows. I have some of my just masking tape. This is the MT black masking tape. You'll see in here because I've covered up and like blacked out some like private thoughts, personal information that I don't want to share with the entire world. So you'll see me use this in there. And then I wanted to share this, which I need to buy more of already. So I have been using this printable vinyl sticker paper in matte. This is 20 sheets, and this is an example of what it looks like when you've actually printed something on it. Like these are just photos from my, like edited photos from my phone that I printed out on this paper, just with high quality settings. And I'm obsessed with it. And the vinyl paper is so thin that like it adds almost no bulk to the notebook itself at all. So I am loving using this. I've been printing out a few things. I started probably towards the end of January, but you'll see some pictures printed out in there as well. But it is this Small Smile printable vinyl sticker paper. So good if you are wanting to print out pictures to put in your Hobonichis. So let's jump in. So right now I have this in a cover, a jelly cover, I think is what it's called, from Leela Journals. I love it. There's like all these pockets in the front. And I'll put some of my favorite stickers in here. I actually have this little sticker sheet in here that I've got in the front, and then some other ones that I've printed out myself. This is the current sticker sheet that I have as freebies for my Etsy orders that I get. Love them. They're so cute. So I kept one for myself to test it out. I've also got like a star rating sticker sheet in here because I love using star ratings. And then the freebie that came with my Leela Journals order is in here too. So I like these smaller pockets and just tuck stickers in there. In my calendars, I'm not really doing much with these, but I did put little hearts on birthdays. And then for this like monthly year pages, I don't know what these are called. For January, I did a hobbies I did this month, like little list. I don't know if I'm going to do the same thing for February or if I'm going to just track something else for February, but we'll see. So I did do some puzzles this month, or I worked on a puzzle this month. I did a lot of reading, and I started building a book nook project, which I was super excited about, and I don't even know if I wrote about that in here actually. So just a list of some hobbies that I did this month, which I kind of like being able to see. And then for the monthly pages, for January, I kept track of glimmers of joy that I felt this month. So basically something during the day that brought me some kind of joy during the month. Let me zoom in a little bit. So like going to bed early, I got new stamp samples on this day. We had a family game night. This is that little coffee sticker that I was just talking about. Yesterday, because today's the 1st, I'm filming this on February 1st, I had some spring rolls, and spring rolls are my favorite. And we got them from a local ramen bar. So good. So good. We had date night. So like, I'm just like putting out just something that brought me a little bit of joy. And then I filled in the days that weren't part of that month with the exception of New Year's Eve. Like this one up here, I just did like a little grid pattern. And these ones down here, I just added some stickers and washi tape to fill in the bottom space. And then I'm just using my Tombow Fudonosuke brush pen to make like fun, bigger week numbers. And then we will jump into the weeklies. Okay. So for my weeklies, I am currently filling them in with just bits and pieces of what are happening throughout the day. So essentially I have been carrying this book around with me essentially everywhere, at least everywhere that I'm going to be sitting down and being in that space for a while. So I bring it to my work desk. I, have it next to my bed at night and all that stuff. And as things happen that I think are going to be something that I'm going to want to remember for that day, I'm just making small notes. I also am bolding some words using the Fudonosuke brush pen. If I'm watching like a movie, stuff like that. So you'll see these are very like black. Just that's it. It's just pen on here. I'm not adding stickers to this section. This is just a reminder for me because I don't usually, at least for the month of January, I haven't usually been doing any type of journaling until the end of the day when I'm laying in bed before I go to sleep. So I'm mostly using this as a reminder because I have like very short-term memory when it comes to like everyday life. So I can come back and flip like on the 11th, I can come back here and be like, okay, what happened today? And then I can pick something to either embellish on in my journaling, or maybe I won't even talk about anything and just have something specific on my mind that I want to talk about. But I do have, so there's going to be some times where the things on these pages aren't anywhere near my journaling, or I don't journal about anything that I wrote on here, vice versa, like all that type of stuff. So then I've still got kind of like a tiny record of some things. Like this day, like I didn't journal about this, but I did watch like so many Jordan and McKay videos on YouTube on this day. Like, so I don't even know how I ended up going on like a binging watch of them, but I didn't journal about that on my like daily journaling. So now I've kind of got a little record of it right here. And I did that every day for the month. Woo! Go me. I'm so proud of myself. And then we've got February. This is today, so I haven't written anything in here yet, but we just got back. Just got back home, and I just jumped right into filming, so I'll probably fill this in after I'm done filming this video. And then we jump into dailies. Okay, so the first week of this, some of you will probably have already seen, because I did post a first week in my Hobonichi video, and I'll like link that up there in the little thingy wherever, if that's even still where it is, if you want to watch that one. But I have been using a lot of like clear stickers, that brush pen, and then just kind of journaling about like my day. So I did do a January cover page. I want to do one for February as well. I don't know if I'm going to do that in this video or not. I might, depending on how long this is after I'm done rambling. Who knows? But I'm planning to do this every month. Just fill in this like cover page with just like a little collage of things. When I first started doing this journaling, I was super hesitant to add anything into the notebook because like it was brand new with this paper. I'm not brand new with Tomoe River paper, but this one is thinner than anyone's that I've used before because I have used a Midori notebook, but the paper in that one is thicker than the paper in this one. So I was like really hesitant to put much of anything on it. I'm using that Furunosuke pen and either my Energel or my Sarasa Mark-On. And then I've got like clear stickers down here. And I'm basically just adding like a section title. So like on the second, I had a lot of hand pains and I was really tired. I started listening to Legrand. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation of that. But I have been listening to this fella all month long. I'm obsessed. I am so obsessed. And I think the reason for that, let me just go off on a tangent. I think the reason for that is because I've really been trying to focus on things that make me feel calm for the month of January. And when I was in high school, so long ago, I had a couch in my bedroom. And I have vivid memories of sitting upside down on my couch, like with my legs over the back of the couch and my head hanging off of the front of the couch, and finding random jazz stations on the radio, like the actual radio, and just sitting upside down on my couch in my bedroom, just listening to jazz and doing absolutely nothing else. And then just being calm. I have vivid memories of that. So when this singer, he plays saxophone in his songs, in most of them. And saxophones, like in my mind, correlate so closely to like jazz music because you hear a lot of saxophones in jazz. But this is like a more like current day like saxophone, like music type playing, because it's not just like jazz music in the background or whatever. So I think in my mind, like I'm correlating that back to that time when I was in high school. And so like listening to this person while I am driving makes me feel so much more calm than just not, because driving makes me anxious. So anyways, end tangent. Sorry. Wow. But I love him. I love all of the songs that I've heard from him so far. Let's see. On the 3rd, work lasted a billion years. I had talked to some people that I worked with about starting a book club, and we were supposed to have our first book club meeting like at the end of this week. Not this week, but like the week after. And that didn't happen. I think 2 of them got sick and like we never rescheduled anything. I was writing down song lyrics by this singer, started my period, so I wrote about that. On that Saturday, Wicked came out to like purchase digitally. So I purchased it and watched it with my daughter. Our back neighbors had asked us to come over for fires and s'mores and to watch the Beetlejuice movie. It was really cold. And I've been also tracking things that I'm reading as well. If you watched that first video that I posted about my Hobonichi, I had left this spot blank. And this is the stamp that I was talking about wanting to use here. This is a stamp from an upcoming collaboration stamp set that I have with Heba from My Little Journal. So she created a stamp set and then I created a stamp set, and then they'll go like pretty decently well together, and we're going to release them at the same time. So this is from the stamp set that I created. I love it. So good. I went through my fabric this day and then was feeling like inspired by some of the fabric that I found. So I wrote down something that I wanted to make. Solo Leveling came back, so we watched that, and I did late night crafting that night. On the 6th, I was complaining about Mondays. I didn't sleep the night before, which was probably because of the late night crafting. So I stayed up all night. I did a lot of binge reading. And I also wrote down here something that I was craving, which I still haven't made. I need to make these. I've been craving muffins like nobody's business. So I need to make muffins. For the 7th, I think this is the first time I added washi tape. I think this is where I stopped, actually, in the last video. So for the 7th, I didn't feel like I had too much to say, so I added a bunch of washi tape to the side here. This might have been the last thing, actually. I didn't really have nothing that was going on. So I've got big titles, a busy day at work, and then I had woken up late. No, this was the day that wasn't on there, because I remember this being on there. On the 8th, we had coffee. I had coffee and hash browns. These are when I'd gotten my new stamp samples in. I had gotten a bow stamp and a star rating stamp in. These are in my Etsy shop right now. Was still reading the Dictionary of Lost Words. It took me so long to finish this book. And then have some more song lyrics down here. On the 9th, I did a lot of updates in my reading journal and then filmed. Yeah, this was the day that I filmed the first flip through here. I didn't have a lot of stuff to say, so I added a PET sticker of just like a little book nook area, which I thought was perfect to go with the reading journal updates. On the 10th, I wrote about how proud I was of myself for journaling every day for 10 days. I was shocked that I managed to make it that far. These are printables from that same Etsy, or I don't even think that was the last video I recorded. Bujo Jage Art, I think is what it was called. I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but I just shared in a video, it's probably not even out yet, honestly, but it will be, some stickers that I got in the mail from her Etsy shop, but she also has downloadables or printable stickers, which I did purchase and printed out. These are all from her. I will link her Etsy shop below. So I was just writing about how I loved those. I had gotten a Lilo Journals order in today, so I wrote about Happy Mail. And this was the little thank you card that is in her orders, and I thought it would just be perfect to pop right in here. I woke up again late on Saturday, so I just wrote about sleeping in, and then my stepson had somebody over for a sleepover. And then I did a little currently section over here on this side where I wrote what I was currently burning, which sounds pretty bad when you say it out loud like that, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. I don't know. So I wrote down the candle name of the candle that I was burning in my bedroom, what I was reading, and currently watching. I was watching Cinderella with my daughter. That Sunday, we went over to a friend's house, so I wrote about spending some time with some friends, and then cleaning, and then experiencing more low sugar episodes. And then on Monday, I basically just decided to be done with December Daily on this day, so I wrote a little bit about how I just have no motivation to do it, and I'm like tired of it. I don't even want to think about it anymore. So I took down my December Daily cart and turned it into a journal cart that I'm now keeping next to my bed. I took a nap this day. I must have been off work this day. I think I was off work this day, so I ended up taking a nap, which I love, so I made a little title about naps being my favorite. Yes, because since I was off this day to do some things that I needed to get done, I ended up working 10 hours for the rest of the week, so yeah, I was off that day. On Tuesday, I did a 10-hour work day. I got another sample order in, plus some new backers to see if I wanted to start having my stamps pre-packaged. And then I wrote a little bit about my one little word. I think I had finally gotten all my stuff in. I either got my stuff in or I started prepping stuff with the digitals. And then we had a family game night where we all basically lay in bed together and play games on like the Switch or whatever we have that we're playing games on. On Wednesday, I started reading Ricochet. I really liked that book. Writing about how tired I was, so I went to bed early. I also had low sugar that day. On the 16th, Thursday, there wasn't too much that had happened, so I just filled up most of the writing space to say not so much happened on this day. I added a lot of washi tape down at the bottom to fill up some more space. I was still reading the Dictionary of Lost Words. I did use one of those star rating stickers in here. I didn't fill it in because I was still reading it, but I also have this washi tape from Everyday Explorers, like a currently washi tape. So I used some of that, I guess. On Friday, I wrote about actually working a 40-hour work week. I honestly can't remember the last time I've done that, because on this whole week, I didn't film anything for YouTube. I didn't do any filming. I didn't do any editing. I didn't have any orders through Etsy, and I only worked 40 hours at my job, which is unusual for me. Probably because I had worked 10 hours, right, for 4 days. So that in and of itself is kind of exhausting. So I had only worked 40 hours, and I was pretty proud of myself for that. This was something I had gotten from like one of those, like, I think Stationery Pal. It's not a sticker, but I taped it in. I thought it was really cute and like relaxing. I did some doodling on this page. I finally got my insulin refilled. Turns out I've been using expired insulin, which is probably why my sugar's been all over the place. So I realized that and refilled my insulin. So I wrote about that. On Saturday, the 18th, we went and saw Sonic 3. All of my kids love the Sonic movies, and they also love going to the movie theaters. Another thing they get from me, because I am a huge movie theater fan, even though I don't watch movies like outside of the movie theater hardly ever. So we went and saw Sonic 3 at the movies. My husband and I did a ton of cleaning, and then I wrote down things that I was currently playing and currently reading. On Sunday the 19th, I woke up late, and when I woke up, Luna sat in bed with me, and we just did a lot of journaling, which was part of what I was writing about here. So this is basically all about me and Luna journaling together, and I love when she does that. I also wrote playing what I'm currently playing. I was playing Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and then having low blood sugar again. Honestly, the best thing about having low blood sugar so much this month was that I got to use all of my diabetes low sugar stamps. Yay! And then I have these like stamp washies, and I just ripped off like 6 of them and stacked them over here. I thought that was really cute, and it used up some of the space at the bottom. On Monday the 20th, I think this was a holiday, and I literally just slept all day, which I haven't done since before I had kids, so I was really excited about that. So I wrote a sleep all day. I used some stamps from Syncopation Design to stamp out a little like person sleeping with a bunch of Z's. And then I finally, when I did get up, started working on a Woobles crochet kit that I have, and then made a list of things that Luna asked me to teach her how to draw. Since this was a holiday, I had requested the 21st off of work so I could have like a 4-day weekend. I binge watched Exo Kitty for however many hours that whole second season was. I watched that. I was not feeling good, so I basically just laid in bed all day watching Exo Kitty. I did make myself a root beer float in the evening because I love root beer floats, and the like milky texture of like ice cream and milk make my throat hurt less usually, so I was like, I might as well have a root beer float. And then because I didn't have a ton to say, I used one of these huge like stickers from the washi tape shop and just kind of filled that space in. And then I just got like sore throat all over the place. So let's see. The 22nd, I had a sore throat, so I wrote about that. I woke up that morning like with my throat feeling awful. I made this sticker, this coffee time sticker. It printed out weird on my clear sticker paper, but you can see that right there. That's like the actual sticker version of it. That's what color it should be. I don't know why it printed out like that on the clear sticker paper that I have, but it's just like off gray, so I'm not mad about it. I got inspired and finished some stamp designs, what I was currently reading, and then I made some. Oh, Roberto made it for me. He made what he calls sodium soup. And when he called it this, I was like, I'm going to call it that forever now because it's so funny. And it's because it's made with like chicken bouillon cubes. And I should probably find like a less sodium induced way to make it. But it's basically bouillon with just my favorite veggies. So carrots, celery, and potatoes. Just boiled in bouillon. And I love it so much. but the sodium content is outrageous. So he started calling it sodium soup, and I was like, I mean, you're not wrong. So it's really good though. I love it. I still had a sore throat on Thursday, so I had some early Z's, which basically means I went to bed early. I did some filming, and then we ordered, I think through DoorDash, we ordered sushi from one of our favorite sushi places. And I actually listed out the things that we got. And for the first time, I think both Oliver and Luna tried sushi this night, and they both really liked it. On the 24th, Friday, I joined the Peaches Zoom. I also had a parent-teacher conference with my daughter's teacher this day. That's one of the things I've blocked out here. I had low sugar, like randomly in the middle of the day, which doesn't happen super often. Usually when my sugar drops, it drops while I'm asleep. So like in the middle of my workday, my sugar just plummeted. So I wrote about that. And then on Saturday, my husband and I went on a date night. We went to a ramen bar, an anime-themed ramen bar, and then we went out to an arcade and just had a blast. It was so much fun. And I talked about how we should bring our boys back to this arcade because I think that they would really like it. For the 26th, I did some early morning paper crafting. I woke up at like 6 o'clock. It was Sunday. I don't know why I woke up so early, but I came out here and I did some paper crafting and memory keeping. This is the first time. Is it the first time? So I had printed out the papers. And actually, I think I did this journaling. I think I did the journaling for the 25th on the 26th because we were out on our date. So I did, yeah. So this is the same sticker paper. I printed out a bunch of stuff, and on this day is when I tried that sticker paper that I shared at the beginning. So cute. Love it. And I've been, putting photos in with it as well. So I wrote about that and wrote about the project that I'm currently crocheting. I'm pretty slow when it comes to crocheting, so I'm still working on that Woobles kit. And then was reading the same two books, Onyx Storm and The Dictionary of Lost Words. For 27th, which was a Monday, I had this day off and was going to work 10 hours for the rest of the week because we had the kids' awards ceremonies for school this day. And I wrote a very busy day, but depending on how you look at this, it could definitely read lousy too, and I thought that was funny. I also woke up with really low blood sugar this morning, like dangerously low blood sugar. So my husband didn't even think that I was going to be able to go to the award ceremony. So I wrote about that a little bit. And we went to a couple of stores. We went to a thrift store because I was looking for stuff to kind of redo my filming / crafting desk, to make it match more because it doesn't really match so much right now. So I was looking for stuff for that. We also tried a new coffee shop. I don't think it's new, a local coffee shop. I think it's a franchise, but I didn't like it. It was 7 Brew coffee. I didn't like it. Everything was far too sweet, and I kind of like sweet stuff. So I don't know. So we did that in between award ceremonies, and it was a busy day for sure. On Tuesday, so that's this. I think we're at this week now. On Tuesday, I wrote down 10-hour work week. I've got some PET stickers from Lilo Journals down here. I had placed a journal say order for the stuff that we had gone around to thrift shops trying to see if we could find already existing in the area. We couldn't find anything, so I just went ahead and placed an order with Journal Say. I worked more on my crochet project and had a lavender white mocha coffee as my second cup of coffee for the day. On Wednesday, I did have more pictures that I wanted to include, so I used that same vinyl sticker paper. I did my nails on Wednesday after work, I believe. And then I tea stained some paper, and I've been wanting to tea stain paper for a really long time, so I made a point to write about it because I was so excited that I finally did. And then we're at the last 2 days of the month. So for Thursday, I worked in office both of these days, actually. So I was almost in like a super crazy accident Thursday morning. Thankfully, I did not get into an accident. But on my way into work, I drive on the highway and it's like a 3-lane highway. I actually drew a picture of it. This is the picture that I drew. Okay. So it's a 3-lane highway. This was me and this was the innocent bystander that was driving next to me. And we were going at least 70 miles per hour. I had to draw it out for my husband because he wasn't comprehending what I was saying. And this is what I was talking about all right here. So another segue into something that probably means nothing to anybody, but I'm going to do it anyways. So another vehicle, right? So I know most of us are familiar with how like motorcycles, especially when you're stopped, they'll like drive up this dotted line in between cars to like get around people, especially like if you're stopped or if it's like stopped traffic or something like that. So we're on the highway going 70 miles per hour. A full-sized vehicle, as we are going, drives up this middle dotted line between me and this other car right here. And I looked over right as their hood was at my my window and like almost lost my crap. Like I was just shocked, like utter disbelief that somebody would do that. Like that's so dangerous. And like if any 3 of us had moved just ever so slightly, it would have been like a 3-car like wild accident. And I was like, I just cannot believe that this even happened. So I should put this in here as like a little tip in. I should do that because like, honestly, my little doodle's really cute, but like, wow, I was just shocked. And I called my husband immediately afterwards because like I couldn't get a handle on myself. So I called him and I started the call with like, I did not get into an accident, but I want to tell you what just happened. Because then I started gaslighting myself afterwards. I was like, that couldn't have happened. That's not possible. So I started gaslighting myself and I was like, no, I need to calm down. So I called him and I was like telling him what happened, but he didn't understand because when he got home, he started asking me about the motorcycle that drove in between the cars. And I was like, that's not what happened. Let me explain to you what happened again. So then I drew out a picture and showed him and he was just baffled. Like he also could not comprehend how like none of us got into an accident because of this person that thought it would be like a good idea to drive in the middle of 2 cars on a highway. Let me stop. Anyways, so I wrote about all that. I actually, as soon as I got to work, I wrote it in my journal before I clocked in because I wanted to like remember as much as possible. So this is one of the only times that I've actually done like the journaling right when something happened. Anyways, my friend that I work with brought me in a cup of coffee because we were both going to be in office that day and I love her. And then I finished while I was at work because I do a lot of my audiobook listening while I'm working. And I finished while I was at work the Dictionary of Lost Words, finally. And I wrote this down because I don't bring my reading journal to work with me. I leave that at home. But I wrote down, like I pulled out a sticky note from my desk and wrote this down because as I was listening to it at work, this character Gareth got introduced and he was my favorite, like immediately. He totally got like friend zoned and pushed to the side by the main character for a while, but like immediately he was my favorite. And then like, spoiler alert, if you plan on reading this book, but they freaking killed him off in what felt like almost immediately. And I was so upset. And he did the cutest proposal ever before that happened, which made me love him even more. And I even wrote on here, like, my husband will hear about this. So I stuck this in my bag and brought it home. And I was like, you know what? I should just put that right in my daily journal because I love that. So my at work thoughts, and then I wrote down the book name, and then the book that he gave her for the proposal, what it was called. And then my husband told me he thinks I should put a picture of the book on there. So I did have a cover of the book and put that in there, and then wrote down just that like I finally finished it. And where did I write? I wanted to write down some random thoughts so that I would have reminders. Roberto did, in fact, hear about the proposal in this book. Haha. And then I was like, I think I might have a book hangover now. Because it took me so long to read this book. Like, I've mentioned it several times just flipping through this. It took me so long to read it. But, like, this day that I was reading it and that I finished it on Thursday, like, I got so invested so quickly. And then, like, the author traumatized me all in, like, the span of a couple of hours. And I was like, what? Like, my mind was blown. So after that whirlwind of a book ending, I was kind of like, I can't. So I didn't read much of any. I read a little bit of Onyx Storm this day, but I didn't read too much because I had no desire to read after finishing this one. I had some acid reflux on Friday, so I noted that. I had Senzu Noodle Bar again, which was the place that we had ramen when my husband and I went on our date. We also did a family movie night, and then I wrote down that I had planned to finish reading Onyx Storm yesterday, but ended up like just not feeling ready to read anything because of what this book did to me the day before. And it's probably because I was already an emotional wreck because of the whole highway thing that happened that morning. So this probably affected me a lot more than it would have had that not happened that morning. But because of all of the emotion and trauma that I felt on Thursday, like I just had no desire to read on Friday. So I wrote about that here. And then that's it. We are then on to February pages. And let's see. I do kind of want to add some stuff here. I think I do. So I'm at 38 minutes. And since I'm doing a live voiceover recording on this, it's probably not going to cut much out. So yeah, I think I'll set up for February in a separate video so I can at least split them up. So that's all I'm going to have in this video. If you want to see how February looks when I set it up, stay tuned. I'll have that come up in another video. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!